10 real tourist attractions that are so weird, you'll think I made them up. What if I told you there is a town filled with life-size dolls, but no people? Or that there's a building shaped like a giant high heel, and it's a church? I'm Ben, and today I'm counting down 10 real tourist attractions so bizarre, so surreal, they sound completely made up. And number 1 might just make you wealthy beyond your wildest dreams. Starting off at number 10, the Big Fish of Belfast, Northern Ireland. Imagine walking around the River Lake and encountering a 32-foot long ceramic salmon. That's Belfast's Salmon of Knowledge, a massive fish sculpture covered in blue ceramic tiles, each telling a different story about the city's history. Based on an ancient Irish legend, this mythical salmon supposedly gained all the world's wisdom after eating magical hazelnuts from the Well of Wisdom. The most fascinating part? Locals genuinely believe kissing this enormous mosaic fish will make you smarter. Tourists line up daily for the chance to smooch this gigantic aquatic monument. But here's what the travel guides won't tell you. Some tile makers snuck in personal messages and small jokes among the historical scenes. Look closely enough and you'll spot tiles commemorating births, deaths, and even a marriage proposal. But if giant fish aren't strange enough for you, wait until you see what happens when a town loses most of its population. Coming in at number 9, Nagoro, Japan, the village of dolls. Deep in the valleys of Japan's Tokushima Prefecture lies a village where dolls have literally replaced the human population. When Nagoro's residents began dying or moving away, a 74-year-old woman named Tatsumi Ayano started creating life-sized fabric replicas of former villagers, placing them in eerily realistic poses throughout the town. Drive through Nagoro today and you'll see farmers tending fields, children sitting attentively in the abandoned schoolhouse, and elderly residents waiting at bus stops that no longer have service. With over 300 dolls and fewer than 24 actual humans remaining, visitors often report the unsettling sensation of being watched. The most disturbing part? Many dolls are positioned exactly where their human counterparts once lived, wearing their actual clothes. If you thought dolls were creepy, wait until you discover what one heartbroken Turkish man has been collecting for over 30 years. At number 8, it's Shez Gallop's Hair Museum in Avanos, Turkey. Beneath a pottery shop in Turkey's Cappadocia region lies a chamber filled with something most people wash down their shower drains: human hair. Over 16,000 locks from women worldwide hang from every surface, transforming the space into a bizarre tapestry of human remains. The story goes that 30 years ago, potter Shez Gallop's friend was leaving town. To remember her, she cut off a lock of her hair. Word spread and female visitors began adding their own contributions, complete with handwritten notes and contact information. Twice yearly, Gallop randomly selects 10 hair donors who receive all expenses paid pottery vacations. Yes, donating your hair might actually win you a free trip, making this possibly the only museum where leaving a piece of yourself behind could be financially rewarding. But perhaps architecture is more your style. In which case, have you ever wondered what a 55-foot glass high heel would look like? And if it were also a church? Next at number 7 is the High Heel Church in Taiwan. In Budai, Taiwan, stands what looks like Cinderella's slipper after a serious growth spurt. The world's largest high heel-shaped building. Made from over 320 pieces of blue glass, this 55-foot tall stiletto isn't a fashion statement gone wrong. It's actually a church. Well, sort of. The structure was built to honour a local tradition where brides-to-be must step on tiles while wearing high heels to discard past misfortunes before marriage. Inside, couples can hold wedding ceremonies beneath twinkling blue lights. The strangest part? This enormous shoe-shaped building holds the Guinness World Record for largest high-heeled shoe-shaped structure, a record category created specifically for it, since nothing remotely exists anywhere else on Earth. If you think that's unusual, wait until you see what happens when cats inherit an entire island. Ranked 6th is Aoshima Island, Japan, also known as Cat Island. On a tiny island in Japan's inland sea, cats rule as the undisputed overlords. Once a thriving fishing village with hundreds of residents, Aoshima now houses just 6 elderly humans and approximately 200 felines. These aren't wild cats, they're descendants of pets brought to control mice in the island's sardine industry decades ago. The human population declined, but the cats thrived, creating a real-life cat paradise. There are no accommodations, shops, restaurants, or even vending machines on Aoshima, just cats lounging around on abandoned cars, sleeping in doorways, and greeting the twice daily ferry with enthusiastic meows. Visit today while you still can. Authorities have begun neutering programs to reduce the population, and when the last human residents eventually pass away, ferry service will likely end, leaving the cats to their isolated kingdom. Now, I'm genuinely curious, which of these places would you actually visit? The doll village that looks like a horror movie set, the giant blue high heel, or would you brave the island of cats? Drop a comment with your choice and what you'd take home as a souvenir. Our fifth choice is Kolmanskop, Namibia, the desert ghost town. In the middle of Namibia's forbidden zone stands a once wealthy German colonial town that's slowly being reclaimed by the desert. In 1908, a railway worker discovered diamonds literally lying on the sand. Within years, Kolmanskop had become absurdly prosperous, complete with a champagne-stocked ballroom, an ice factory, and the first X-ray station in the southern hemisphere. Today, Kolmanskop's elegant homes stand half buried in sand drifts, with winds howling through rooms where wealthy diamond barons once held lavish parties. The most surreal sight? Perfectly preserved bathtubs and kitchen sinks emerging from dunes that have flowed through doorways and broken windows. The ghostly atmosphere is made even more chilling when you learn the town's prosperity came at a terrible cost. Built on land taken from local tribes after a brutal genocide that killed over 60,000 indigenous Herero people. From one dangerous place to another. How about a garden where touching any plant might kill you? Number 4 is the Alnwick Poison Garden, England. Behind black iron gates at England's Alnwick Castle sits a garden with a unique warning sign. These plants can kill. This isn't hyperbole. The poison garden houses around 100 toxic species, from familiar dangers like belladonna and monkshood to the bizarre Gimpy Gimpy tree, whose touch causes pain so severe it's driven people to suicide. On a guided tour, you'll learn how innocent-looking plants have been used throughout history for murder, for medicine, and magic. The garden's most notorious residents, cannabis, cocoa, and opium poppies, grow in cages under special government licenses. Several tourists faint each year from simply smelling the toxic vapors, despite strict rules against touching or sniffing anything. The Duchess who created the garden had a single mission: to make plant education dangerously interesting. And she certainly succeeded. But if poisonous plants don't give you chills, perhaps 25,000 rats running across your feet will. Third place goes to the Kani Mata Temple in India, the Temple of Rats. In Rajasthan, India, stands a beautiful marble temple with an unexpected feature: thousands of rats scurrying freely across its floors, drinking from milk bowls and nibbling on offerings. These aren't pests. They're believed to be reincarnated storytellers from the 14th century, and devotees consider them sacred. You must remove your shoes before entering, meaning you'll feel tiny rat feet running across your bare toes, an experience that either sounds horrifying or fascinating, depending on your perspective. The holiest moment? Spotting one of these rare white rats believed to be the incarnation of the goddess Kani Mata herself. Pilgrims compete for the blessing of sharing food with the rats or drinking water from the bowls. Surprisingly, despite thousands of rats living in close quarters with humans for centuries, no disease outbreaks have been linked to the temple, a fact that puzzles scientists to this day. And if you thought drinking from rat bowls was strange, wait until you hear about the spa, where you don't drink the wine or coffee, you bathe in it. Coming in at number 2, Unison Spa Resort in Japan. Most spas offer mineral water or mud baths. Unison in Hakone, Japan offers coffee and red wine and green tea and sake. This isn't a menu of drinks, these are actual pools. You soak your entire body in while staff periodically pour fresh batches over your head for maximum absorption. The wine bath, supposedly Cleopatra's beauty secret, features real red wine poured from a giant bottle suspended above. The coffee spa smells like the world's largest brewing pot, with fresh coffee dripping from an oversized percolator. Perhaps most bizarre is the Dr. Fish foot bath, where tiny fish nibble dead skin from your feet while you try not to squirm. The strangest part? Despite all these food-based bathing options, signs everywhere remind guests, please do not drink the bathwater. Apparently, that's a frequent enough occurrence to warrant multiple warnings. But our number 1 spot is so peculiar, so hidden in plain sight, you've probably walked past one without noticing. Finally, number 1, it's the Seven Noses of Soho in London. In 1997, artist Rick Buckley secretly attached plaster casts of his own nose to buildings throughout London as a protest against the increasing number of CCTV cameras watching citizens. Most were removed, but 7 survived in Soho, becoming the subject of one of London's strangest urban legends. Find all 7 noses and infinite wealth will be yours. These peculiar protrusions hide on famous landmarks and ordinary buildings alike. One on Admiralty Arch was rumoured to mock Napoleon, with cavalry officers supposedly touching it for luck when passing through on horseback. Another sits outside a former strip club, while others hide on nondescript walls, waiting for eagle-eyed tourists to spot them. The most dedicated nose hunters extend their search to find related installations, a pair of ears on walls in Covent Garden, and even a set of lips imprinted on a filthy wall near the Trocadero. It's a bizarre scavenger hunt through one of the world's most famous cities, searching for fragments of faces in unexpected places. Now that you've seen the weirdest real places on Earth, you need the documentaries that'll hit just as hard. Because if you don't, you'll miss out on wine spas, street food that makes you cry, and the most chaotic father-son trip ever filmed. Discover my top 7 favourite travel documentaries right here.